Joyce considering a warm-up bout before Daniel Dubois clash. I'll tell you what Sam Jones says. He says, we have a date, July 11th, but I'm not confident that's going to happen. It comes to a point where Joe will be out the ring for over a year, so he needs to have a fight. He needs to have a run-out, whoever it is against. He needs to earn some money, but at the same time, he needs to dust the cobwebs off and get match fit. It's the same for Dubois. He has fought at Christmas and he's had a couple of fights since Joe lost. He needs some rounds in the bank, and if he doesn't fight Dubois next, he needs to fight someone who won't just fall over in a round. We are open to fighting Dubois behind closed doors, but promoter Frank has said he won't do it, and it's his decision to make. When boxing does resume, it involves intense testing for COVID-19, while cards will be limited to 5 fights. Fighters will also be banned from spitting in the ring, but will be able to use spit buckets in the corner. The referee and trainers will be required to wear masks and fighters when they walk into the ring. So that's quite interesting that Sam Jones is talking about all this in terms of Joyce having a warm-up fight, considering a warm-up bout. I mean, look, it makes sense because this whole COVID-19 thing has pushed everybody back. I don't know if Joyce is even in shape right now. I'm gonna assume he's not because he's at home chilling probably, and he probably hasn't got any facilities. He's probably keeping in decent shape, but he's definitely not in probably the best shape he needs to be to fight Dubois. I think Dubois will probably be more likely wanting to have that fight when this whole thing is over, but I think Joyce is probably gonna want a warm-up fight because Joyce is obviously older than Dubois, and his metabolism is slowing down. He's probably eating at home and gaining more fat. It's going to become difficult for him to shred it, So, him having a warm-up bout, Joyce having a warm-up bout, I don't have a problem with that. I think that makes sense. It makes sense. But who would he fight? Sam Jones is saying it shouldn't be somebody who just fall down and run around. Well, then who do you want to fight? It just depends who are you going to take that risk. You can you just find a journeyman, and just knock him out, which would be handy for Joyce to get his experience, get him match ready. But I think the main focus is not about fighting an opponent; it's about having a training camp and being match fit. Maybe Joyce hasn't got the gym around him. Some athletes have gyms in their houses. Maybe Joyce hasn't got that. So this lockdown is really affecting him. He's probably eating a lot, munching, having that good food. So maybe, and will Frank Warren be happy for him to have a warm-up fight? Will he say, nah, are they contractually obligated to fight in July? But then again, if they don't fight in July, then that contract's over, isn't it? Nothing in the contract that says after July they have to fight. So if Joyce wants to fight somebody else, why not? Why not? I don't see why it shouldn't be an issue for Joyce to fight a warm-up fight, considering this whole circumstance. Dubois want to get in straight away, but maybe he should have a warm-up fight as well. So it just depends what these both guys want to do. But we'll find out. It's just interesting that he wants a warm-up fight. And I mentioned in my video before that Frank Warren is definitely not going to make these guys fight behind closed doors because he needs the money through the gate. This is not going to be a strong pay-per-view fight. So they need to make money in all angles. But let me know what you guys think. Joyce considering fighting an opponent before. Is he trying to duck Dubois? Is he unfit? What's the reasons you think that Joyce wants to fight? Sam Jones wants Joyce to fight somebody before he fights Dubois. I reckon Joyce will probably fight anybody. But Sam Jones is probably thinking about his fighter and thinking about how fit he is and does he need to have a warm-up to get the rusts off and get himself ready. So let me know what you guys think. I'm out.